Tonight only on 10, a former Blackwater contractor last hope to keep him out of prison has been exhausted. The U.S. Supreme Court has refused to hear the case of Chris Drottliff, who was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and faces 37 months in prison. Before he goes to prison, he's talking only to 10 on Your Side's Andy Fox. Andy?
Nicole, Drottliff wanted to talk because so far he hasn't. So we met him and we took a walk and we listened. He wanted to state in his own way he acted in self-defense in a war zone. That when he showed up in Afghanistan, they told him there was a $50,000 bounty on his head because he was with Blackwater Security, now known as Academy. Drottliff wanted to set the record straight before he goes away.
Look, we threw these guys in prison for what they did in your country.
You don't want to be that guy, but you become that guy.
Yeah.
33-year-old Chris Drottliff is that guy going to prison. He told his two children goodbye.
I just told them I loved them and that I'd see him later.
May 2009, Drottliff was providing security for this car when he thought they came under attack.
A car came up behind us, got into the middle of our convoy and struck our lead vehicle.
The car in the convoy flipped and landed in the ditch. The other car kept going, but suddenly did a U-turn and was now coming back. That's when he opened fire.
We continued firing on that vehicle, and there were rounds in the back of that vehicle, but that's because as that vehicle passed us, we shot at it. After it had passed us, we continued shooting at it, because the last thing you want is a 2,000-pound explosive weapon being able to make a U-turn and get a second chance at what it just tried to do.
In court, it was stated 30 rounds had been fired. A civilian died in the car, another injured, a passerby in the street also killed. Drottliff says it was self-defense and wishes he had told the juries that.
We've been told, stay quiet, just we'll ride this through and we'll be really quiet and really soft about everything. And it just hasn't worked. U.S.
Attorney Neil McBride said Drottliff's actions seriously harmed the mission in Afghanistan. The jury's verdict and today's sentence shows that no one is above the law, even in a combat zone, and that the reckless use of force will be punished.
You watch the carnage that is Afghanistan. Don't tell me about reckless force, because you don't know what reckless force is. We didn't act in reckless force. We acted in self-defense.
Drottliff also says his working for private contractor Blackwater indicted him. It would have been different, he says, had he been in the military.
Every time Blackwater sneezes the wrong way, they end up in the news. And right now we're being used as a scapegoat to try to fulfill some agenda.
And that agenda that Drottliff says is the U.S. trying to appease the Afghan government. That's what he thinks. Drottliff's co-defendant Justin Cannon was also convicted and is awaiting his time in federal prison too. Drottliff also points out he was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter after a hung jury failed to reach a verdict of murder. Go online to wavy.com to see my unedited interview with Chris Drottliff. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on Your Side.